Across the city, the tents stretch everywhere. From Hollywood to Venice Beach, scenes from what could be a disaster movie, now a seemingly permanent fixture on the streets of Los Angeles.
If you're not shocked by what you see, then I don't know what you would be shocked by.
So we have more than 100,000 people actually living on our sidewalks, on our street corners, in our parks, in places where they are visible to our voters and our residents every day. It's a problem that's in the rural areas, it's in the suburbs, it's in front of our schools and our libraries and our grocery stores. And so really you're seeing a governor and a legislature that can't ignore it because it is visible every day.
Dr. Jeffrey Klausner is an infectious disease expert at UCLA's School of Public Health.
Anyone who's living in a rat-infested environment is at risk for things like hepatitis A, dysentery, E. coli, typhus.
It was back in 2018 that the I-Team first exposed trash piling up for weeks on LA streets near homeless encampments. Health experts said those conditions were fueling an epidemic of typhus that infected people from Skid Row to City Hall. It's a disease that's spread by rats and fleas crawling in garbage. This is a breeding ground for typhus.
That is unacceptable to me, and as mayor, I'm going to make sure that that is changed.
Hello all, and welcome back to my channel, Red Femme Diaries. This is going to be a long one, so I'm just about to walk us down slow. Before I begin though, I just want to give a shout out to I Am Ink Man 19, to Cure 1, and Brown Cobb Reunion 2021 for your cash apps. Thank you so much for your support. Donations like that help me to get my Blue Yeti here, so I can sound a little bit better in my audio. I'm trying to figure this out. You guys know it takes me a little minute. I'm a little bit older, but before I go on, I just really want all of you here that are subscribers, or even if you're here visiting as a guest, it means so much that you people are actually really listening to what I have to say and digging it. I can't believe it. I grew up stuttering, you know what I mean? Because, my voice wasn't really heard. So this just means the world to me that there are really people that are out there hearing my message. So thank you. And thank you. A shout out to Poor Man's Podcast for even putting me on, because I didn't even think about getting a channel, honestly, until I called into his show one day, and he encouraged me to, start my own. So thank you all so much. Before we go on, please like this video, please subscribe to my page, and share this video on your page, but in different groups in Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever. I really am excited about this channel growing. So please help me spread the word, help me spread the truth, and get it out there. Okay, so I needed to do that real quick. So thank you all, you guys that did support me. Thank you so much. So we just saw some videos there, and so this video is Winter is Coming. This is part 2. Okay. It's not comfortable. I'm not happy that my channel is not, a dance channel or comedy or something uplifting. Unfortunately, my channel is about the truth, and it is an unfortunate truth, and I know so many of you are not trying to hear this, but it needs to be spoken. So let me just kind of give a little bit of my story here, and hear me out, people. We're gonna take a walk, okay? So walk with me, okay? I was born in 1977. I'm gonna make, don't worry too much. I'm gonna get through it. I've been raised in California my entire life. I wasn't born there. We literally lived blocks from the beach. You know what I mean? Since the time I was, a baby. California was my home. It's what I knew. The great weather. I don't know about harsh winters or, mosquito-ridden, muggy summers. I don't know about those things. It was like, room temperature all the time, Even in my voice, I try to hide it, but I have a California accent. I know a lot of people tell me I sound like a white girl, and I do. I mean, it's, I kind of grew up around other races of people, not very many black people at all. But slowly but surely, I had to watch my beautiful state, my home where I grew up, begin to crumble and fall. I grew up in Long Beach. our family moved out into the desert and we bought a home out there, and slowly but surely I would notice one homeless, and two homeless, and three. And we would call the police, and at first the police would come and try to get them to go away, but eventually we would call the police to get them to move, and the police stopped coming. And instead of just there being homeless, you know, in their chairs just kind of hanging out and loitering, we began to see tents on our street. And we were out in the desert. This wasn't even Los Angeles. This was out in a nice suburban area. We lived in a gated community with a pool and pool house, and you know all these sorts of things gated. But right outside these gates, they were coming. Then we had the tents, and then we had the RVs. That's my dog. We had the RVs that were set up out there. No sanitation, mind you. They weren't plugged into anything. And we lived near the public library, and I used to take my boys there. They're avid readers, but soon I couldn't take them there because the homeless were just hanging out. And as I'm looking around, I'm like, man, what's going on here? Piles of garbage and trash. And I used to go around my neighborhood and pick up the trash, and it got to be where there was just too much. I couldn't do it, and then I started seeing the drug needles, because that's what happens. We looked around and we said, how can we possibly raise our son here? So we left, and we escaped California 4 years ago. And if you think that the only reason why we escaped was the homelessness, I don't mean to giggle, but some of y'all have no clue. That wasn't the main reason why we escaped. We escaped for many reasons, but that's just what we're talking about in this particular video. Okay, so why are you saying this, Red Femme Diaries? I mean, that was in California. You know, I live in one of the other 49 states. It's going to be all good here. And this is where I hate to deliver the bad news, but the things that are happening in California are just like a cancer, and they are going to come to all of the other 49 states, and they're coming quick, fast, and in a hurry, because we are at war right now, and many of you have no idea. The state that we escaped to was a red state, and here things were nice for the first couple of years, but I'm starting to see the same things that happened in California happening here in my nice, lovely red state. Starting to see homelessness, one or two here or there. The constant building of homes. They're building up homes like in weeks. They're not worth a daggone, these homes, but they're preparing for the influx of people as they escape these blue states. But here's the thing, as they come to your state, it's kind of like a cancer. I have cancer. Some of you guys know I have breast cancer. Like a cancer, this begins to spread. And the ones that are attacking our country right now knows this. And so it started in California. And on the other coast, you got some in New York. And they surround us, and they begin to infiltrate us. Okay? With this ideology of dependence on the government. You know, I want to read a couple of, scriptures. I know some of you are going to say, oh, Red Femme Diaries. No, Red Femme Diaries. I'm not a Christian. I'm an atheist. I'm agnostic. I don't believe in Jesus. That's fine. Go and click off right now. But I'm going to give you some word. Even if you don't believe the word of God, listen to these things I'm about to tell you, because this is how our government now does not want you to be. Okay? The government here, they want you to be a victim. They want you to be lazy. They want you to be gluttonous. They want you to be oppressed, because when you're in that sick, demented state, they have full control over you. And if you're a black person that says, I am not a victim, I'm not oppressed, then the rest of the blacks will tell you, well, you ain't black. Because they got your mind enslaved. So let's listen. I'm going to read these couple of scriptures, and this is how we were supposed to be. We're going to go to Colossians 3:17. And whatever you do, whether in word or in deed, do it all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him. Colossians 3:23, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Ecclesiastes 9:10, whatever your hands find to do, do it with all your might. For in the realm of the dead, where you are going, there is neither working nor planning nor knowledge nor wisdom. One last one. 1 Timothy 5:8. Anyone who does not provide for their relatives, and especially for their own household, has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. Oh, one last one. Sorry. Genesis 2:15. The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it. Okay, I can go on and on, but I'm going to stop here because I know some of you have already tuned out because you can't handle this too much. Man doesn't work, he doesn't eat. So all of these handouts they're feeding you, these moratoriums, all these things is to lure you into a sense of false security. You don't work, you don't eat. That's how it's always been for all of time, but they don't want you like that because then you become dangerous. Oh, I'm doing too much. You know, that was that video that I just showed you was kind of covering the homelessness, but I want to take a trip up north to San Diego, and we're going to talk about a proposition that they came up with there, and I'll be right back after this video.
Mark, TJ Maxx, the latest chain here to be targeted by those brazen thieves, the suspects walking in and simply loading up bags of goods and walking out.
That looks great. Hold on.
Dropping hangers as they make off with their illegal haul. This viral video of another brazen heist is the latest in a growing rash of retail robberies.
It's pretty scary. It's scary because they're just so brazen now, and they're just, you know, it's things that I've never seen in my life before, and it's really, you know, times are changing.
In most cases, employees and customers simply watch in disbelief. Too dangerous to try to stop the suspects. A Rite Aid clerk in Glassell Park lost his life, shot and killed by two thieves.
Organized crime retail theft has become a $30 billion criminal industry that often uses the illicit proceeds that they get from that to fund other crimes.
Police and retailers blaming the state's lax penalties for the surging smash and grab crimes. Opponents of the governor, who is facing a recall election, taking aim at his record on crime.
Thieves are robbing stores without consequence. People are getting mugged on the streets, and murders are at a 13-year high. What has Gavin Newsom done about it? He supported decriminalizing theft.
The story of a woman named Jill Jenkins. For years, Jill struggled with drug addiction. One day, she was arrested for stealing a sandwich and charged with a felony. Now, that felony charge haunted her long after she completed drug treatment and got her college degree. Old felonies, even for low-level offenses like drug possession and shoplifting, can create barriers to jobs, housing, education, and more. Now, Prop 47 is already working to cut out those barriers by reducing and removing felonies from criminal records. Jill took advantage of Prop 47 and wiped that felony from her record. I believe in Prop 47 because I believe we are not the sum of the worst thing we have ever done.
All right. So why did I show you all that? I didn't want to just show you the evils of a proposition like Proposition 47 that is trying to criminalize theft, and to show you the devastation that something like that causes. As you can see, there's been many stores that have had to close because the theft is just so rampant. The Targets there, they had to, shorten their hours because they try to keep it to daylight hours. There's so many clips I can show you, but I can't put everything in here. But it's just affected everything. And what's interesting, before I go to my main point, what's interesting is the ones that are indeed controlling us right now, even though you don't think they are, but they are. You go to their country, if you steal something there, they want to cut your hand off, right? Because that's how they tolerate theft and thievery. But here, they're trying to create chaos. So they just want us, go ahead, steal. You deserve it. God dog it, people. I wish somebody could hear me right now. But that wasn't the main point. My main point was not about a proposition, 487 and how evil it is, because I can clearly see that something like that, if that came on the ballot, it didn't take much for me to see that is not a good idea. You don't decriminalize theft. That's bad. Also, defunding the police. I understand that that's a really bad idea too, but somehow they have convinced the majority of you to go right along with that. And that was the point of this last part. When you looked at John Legend, see, here's what they do. The people that are controlling us, they'll take someone famous like John Legend. You remember his song Ordinary People, right? I mean, I know he had some different songs. He's a good guy. He makes great music. So if John Legend is saying that Proposition 47 will help us, then I must vote for it because I like John Legend's music. Okay, and look, to step back, I've been guilty of this in the past too, Propaganda is no joke, but this part of the clip is what I wanted to show you what propaganda looks like. Everything in this clip, it sounded right? This is going to help the people, right? You got to look past the propaganda. You got to look past the fame of the people that they're trying to shove down your throat. And you need to wake up. We have been under propaganda for decades now. And some of us, not only can they not hear what I'm saying, but they refuse to hear what I'm saying. And I know this because literally I have no family, or I think I have maybe like 3 or 4 friends that actually know I do this channel. And even those 3 or 4 don't even listen. Because our minds are locked, and it was done that way on purpose. Please go back to my let's see, Winter is Coming Part 1. Rewatch that so you can hear how this all took place. I think I'm going to leave it here now because, like I said, I'm trying to, keep my videos, at a decent amount of time. But I have another Part 3 of Winter is Coming soon. Please like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel. My Cash App is redfemmediaries. If you have any suggestions, comments, or anything, you can contact me. Email at redfemmediaries@mail.com. Thank you. And this has been Red Femme Diaries.
This is the state of San Francisco right now. Ever since 2014, when Prop 47 passed, which, among other things, made shoplifting, as long as you steal under $950 worth of stuff, a misdemeanor, and this was compounded by Chesa Boudin's election because he refuses to prosecute any level of shoplifting, it appears. This is what people have to deal with, and there are dire consequences to these actions. Okay? But what you're failing to see is the attitudes behind the people who voted for Prop 47, because they are under the impression that all these shoplifting videos that you're watching on the internet are not actually criminals committing crimes. They're all Aladdin stealing bread for their family. You see this video right here? I've altered it with left-wing visual technology so that you can see it how they see it. This guy right here, obviously Aladdin. This other shoplifter, another Aladdin. Isn't it weird? Even this guy that approaches the person with the phone and appears to violently strike out at them, also an Aladdin. They're just people that you gotta look a little closer on because they're just trying to do the best they can. And what we're doing by trying to have a stable society is criminalizing poverty. There's another Aladdin. There's an Aladdin stealing makeup. There's another Aladdin just trying to do the best they can because they don't got their genie, they used up all their wishes, and we know there's no class mobility in Agrabah, so even though Aladdin became a prince at the end of the movie, he's back in poverty and now he's stealing stuff in San Francisco. Everybody feel bad for Aladdin as they bankrupt the area and make everybody else poorer through their actions. Because, didn't you love that movie? Didn't you feel bad for Aladdin? Didn't you see the tatters in his clothes? Remember when he gave food to the little kids, the little poor kids with the big eyes, the Disney eyes? I mean, honestly, I already